Does energy get transferred from one object to another? If you're wondering, stay tuned to find out. When my husband was being trained with some specific techniques for the spiritual work that he does, we decided to experiment with jewelry that I own. Some of the jewelry he gave to me, some was from family or friends, departed relatives, some of it I bought, others I have no idea where they came from, but the point was we laid them out, and what my husband did was he felt the energy of each item, and he was able to determine different qualities about each piece. There was one in particular, when he put his hand over it, he was like, ooh, I don't like that energy at all, just let's move that one completely away from everything else. And there was a pair of amethyst earrings, and he said, I get the feeling that this was a gift and it was from someone very special to you. And it was from my best friend from when I was younger. And then he got to a necklace, and he said, oh, this is really good energy. It feels like it's from a teacher. And he started naming some other qualities. And that happened to be a necklace that was given to me by my aunt. After she passed away, it was given to me by my uncle, actually, not by my aunt, but it was my aunt's necklace. And she was a teacher. And all the qualities that my husband mentioned were qualities that she had when she was alive here. So as we continued to go through all of the jewelry, he would tell me which ones had really low energy and put them in a different group. The ones that just didn't feel good at all had to go, of course, in that first group. And then the ones that felt really good could go in another group. After that, he told me that the ones with all the gemstones, they just needed their energy was low and just had to ramp up their energy again. So he guided me on what to do. I did that.
And what did you do?
Well, he guided me to put them into the sun.
Right.
Leave them out in the sunlight, and then the sunlight will help charge them.
Because they retain energy. They get energy from the sun.
So anything with gemstones, that's what you can do with those, and that's what we did.
And then the other ones that needs to get charged, that were not gemstones, what did we do?
Those you took them to your little work area, and you did energy work on them.
Right.
Right.
So
I don't know exactly what my husband did, but
That's
that was
correct.
a different way of charging them.
And that will not be revealed until you become a trainee. So,
That's right.
but yeah, they were charged differently, in a different way.
Mm-hmm. And then the ones that didn't have good energy at all, my husband had to do clearing work and energy work on them.
Mm-hmm. Charge those as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So what does that tell us?
The energy transfers to objects.
Well, we've always said that energy, everything is made of energy, right?
Right.
So it's not that energy transfers to object, energy just attracts energy.
Okay.
You know, see, we look at it like, for example, energy got transferred to the necklace.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not really so, because the necklace, what you do is you're looking at it in the physical form instead of looking at it as in its energy form. The necklace has energy.
Mm-hmm.
When you're looking at it, it's energy, right?
Right.
And the pattern of the energy is what makes it look like a necklace. Have you ever heard the term that, for example, your top is what color?
White.
Right? But what makes it white? And I know we've had this conversation, but physics tells you what color is that really? What makes it white?
Is that the absence of color?
The absence of color.
Okay.
So what is it doing? It's reflecting all the colors that exist.
Uh-huh.
And that's why it's white.
Okay.
So it's not taking in any, it's not absorbing any of the colors. So
Okay.
they're like, wait a minute, how is that possible? Well, it's white. That's why it's white, because it's not absorbing any color whatsoever. It's the same, that's energy.
Mm-hmm.
You see, because anything that's free of, I said that's pure, What color is it?
White.
It's white. You understand why now?
Yes.
Because it doesn't absorb anything.
Okay.
It reflects it. So it's the same thing now. Here's a necklace. The necklace is not pure. That's why you can say, oh, well, it's this color or whatever color it is. But it's the energy that makes it that way. That pattern of the energy for the necklace. It has a specific pattern. When you see that pattern, you say it's a necklace. Got it?
Yes.
But the moment another energy attaches to it, then it's still a necklace, but anyone that's sensitive enough spiritually can feel a difference in the energy. There's another type of energy on there. That's all it is. So wherever that energy is, that necklace has been, someone's worn it, they've touched it, then the energy from them, they leave an energy print. How about that? Instead of a fingerprint, there's an energy print. So the FBI agents that look for fingerprints, we look for energy prints, because wherever you go, energy is left. There's our trail.
Got it.
So now, are we done with that?
Sure.
So now, how does that then get transferred to, let's say, besides earrings, let's say, for example, someone buys a house.
Oh.
Now
yes. Well, I would think that there are multiple imprints. If it's a house, normally there's more than one person living in it, and there would be a lot of imprints all around the house from the people who lived there before.
See, I like how you use the word now, imprints, right?
Imprints.
You notice how you're not using like energy.
No.
And that's what it is, imprint.
Right.
And that's what you call residual energy.
Okay.
It's the energy that's left behind. So it works? So the imprint is nothing but the energy that's left behind.
And depending on how that person lived their life and the things they did, that could be fabulous energy, or you might have some challenges.
That's sort of accurate, because there's something else to that. I understand why you made that statement. But however, someone could be a wonderful individual. But let's say, for example, let's say you and I, for example, right?
Right.
I could be like this really terrible character. Everybody looks at me and says, that guy is just mean, he's terrible, you know, he kills animals, he causes his neighbor, and all that. But then when I'm around you, because you're all sexy and beautiful, and you know, I want to get your attention, and I'm in love, L-U-U-V.
Okay, just get on with the story.
L-U-U-U-U.
So then you become loving or something?
Exactly. So what happens now? When I'm around, listen, I sit down in the same room with you. What type of energy, what kind of imprint do you think I'll leave on that chair?
A positive one.
Why is that?
Because you're happy, you're in love.
You know. So someone can actually, someone that is sensitive to energy now, they feel like, oh, someone that's really loving and caring sat in this chair. And you'd probably go, oh yeah, it was this guy, you know, his name is Ken, right? And someone else goes, Ken, is that the same guy that we know that you're talking about? He's not loving, he's terrible. You know, that guy kills animals and all that. You see, there's a discrepancy. So it also depends on the moment. That's why the Ascended Masters always tell us to live in the now, in the moment.
Okay, so how about people who buy homes that were on top of like Indian burial grounds or other kinds of burial grounds?
Well, we know someone that has a place like that, right?
Yes.
You can answer that. What do you think?
Well, why is there a lot of disruption then? It's usually not very good energy. It's like,
well,
there's imbalance.
Think about it this way. If it's an Indian burial ground, and we're assuming that that's all it was.
Right. We're speaking of American Indians, by the way.
Right. Well, thanks for making that. Because I didn't even think about that. I just thought Indians like in the movies.
Like cowboys and Indians, right? Yes. Well, not everybody's familiar with that these days.
Okay. Well, thanks for clarifying that. For us foreigners, you know, that are ignorant to this fact. Anyway.
Okay.
So, but think about it. It's a burial ground. depending on how that individual passed, they could still be roaming around because they don't know they're dead. If they pass in an accident, or if it was accidental, if it were accidental, then they're lost souls. They don't know they're really dead.
Okay, so that's why having a home near a church or a cemetery or a hospital could also create challenges, because that residual energy of that individual is still there, or the lost
Right.
soul is still there.
That's correct. And again, the key word is could.
It could
Because
be.
if it's a peaceful passing, or they understand that, okay, I passed and Archangel Michael takes them to the level of heaven where they belong, there are no issues. But it's for the ones that don't really know that they've passed on. That's
Okay.
when there are issues. Right? Or in the case of native
American Indians?
American Indians. What's the
Uh-huh.
difference between native Indians and American Indians? Is there a difference?
Both
I've heard
terms,
native.
Both terms are used in the United States. Native is also used in other countries, and a native is typically someone who was born there. But nowadays, like, I was born here in this country, so I'm also a native. So in school, we were told to distinguish by saying American Indians, because it's not like the Indians from India or the Indians like from
Oh, I
Mexico
see.
or Central America or South America, who are like Aztecs and Mayan Indians or Arawak Indians. So we had to be specific. So that's why I say
Okay.
that.
So you could say Native American Indians.
There you go. Yes.
Got it. Okay, so here we are, right? The history that I've learned while working with our son about this, a lot of times their lands were taken from them.
Yes. They were
Right.
massacred.
But they're supposed to be Native American Indians.
Right.
And that's how native this is. They just took their land from them.
Uh-huh.
And then they were killed. Well, what kind of mindset do you think they had when they were being killed?
They were probably very angry.
And that's why they'd be floating around the place.
And the
trying to
frequency
resolve
would be
things.
very low.
That's correct. Okay, so that's residual energy taking place there. And residual energy doesn't mean it has to be bad or
Right.
negative. That's kind of what it means. It means it's just energy that's left behind.
Okay.
Right? If you remember that, well, earlier I mentioned this, you said you didn't remember, but when you and I think we were already married, but yes, we were married, because you showed me this, you had some items, you said, oh, how about if you read this item, you had read about psychometry, is what it is.
Okay.
He said, do you know what psychometry is? I said, nope, I have no idea. And he said something about you could read the energy of things, you could pick up information. And he gave me these items, said, hold this item and tell me what you get from it. Then I told you about this one individual that showed up on your job, and it was this gentleman, and he brought you flowers, right? And that was all from this item that you had. I don't recall what the item was, right? So that was a good example of, again, picking up information from energies. That wasn't bad energy. That
No.
was good. That's the point. That was good energy at that point. And there is a term for this called psychometry, when you can do that. So I only brought it up to mention that.
Oh, okay.
Why? Because you perked up all of a sudden. You want to talk about this boyfriend of yours? Why you perked up?
Not a boyfriend. That was one of my spirit guides.
That's the best boyfriend. They take care of you. So
I'm looking at more of a teacher, mentor, brother type relationship, not a.
hey, if you want a reliable boyfriend, that's the one you go with. You're a spirit guy. They'll take care of you. So,
He's out of luck. I've already got you.
no, we don't deal in luck. That's Las Vegas.
He's
so.
out of fortune. I've
we
already
go.
got you.
Anyway,
Yes.
so it goes back to the house. Isn't it funny how people that if you buy a car, they'll say, "I don't want a used car." I always find that so hilarious. I want a brand new car. I don't want a used car. But when they buy a house, they never say, "Oh, I just bought a used house."
No, they don't say that.
You notice that?
Yes. In fact, the older houses are, for some people, the better they are. They're like, oh, I got this 1700s house. Really?
That thing has been used. It's so overused, right?
What kind of energy energy has been left there.
You should be paying little money for that sucker, right?
Right.
But see, so mass consciousness works.
Yes.
They convince you that the older the building, the more you should pay for it.
That's right.
When the materials are older, they're less reliable, but people have bought into that mass consciousness. We're switching topics, so let's get back on track. But that's the point, right? That people are so prideful about buying a house, but they never refer to it as a used house.
Right.
But when they buy a car, like they want to buy a brand new car. Buying a used car, there's something wrong with that. I don't get it. It's all mass consciousness.
Yep.
Knowing that the moment you drive a vehicle off the parking lot, the value plummets by at least 1/3. Why would you want to buy a brand new vehicle?
I don't know, but let's get back to the energy imprinting. Does that mean that that vehicle would have energy imprint from every individual who touched it? But then again, nowadays everything is robotic, so do people even touch those vehicles?
Well,
So they have to drive them?
They have to touch. They have to touch them because they have to inspect. They still have to do certain things. It might not be as many people, but yes.
But then, if it's a previously owned car, there's a lot more energy there.
Oh yes, there's a whole lot of energy there. So that should be cleared.
Got it.
But people don't think about that. Even a house. Oh, I just bought my first house. Well, how old is the house? They don't think about that, right?
Right.
They say, oh, it's a brand. No, it's not a brand new house. That house has been there for a long time. It's brand new to you.
Right.
But
they
what
don't
is
think
taking
about
place in that house?
exactly what's happened in the house, around the house. What
Imagine if there were arguments. If as long as there were arguments in the house, what kind of energy has stayed back after all that?
Right.
You see, so all these things are residual energies that should be taken care of.
Right. Like even antique furniture. I love old furniture.
I still remember the look on your face when you realized that. You used to go antique shopping with our girls, right?
Yes.
And then somehow it dawned on you. One day you just said, honey, and then you hit me like you normally do. Like I've done something wrong or something.
I don't do that all the time or anything. It's every once in a while when I have these epiphanies in my brain.
That's normally where they take place, honey.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I don't know which story you're going to tell because there's so many.
Just when you realize, wait a minute, these are antique furnitures. They've been around for a long time. Honey.
Can you imagine what energies are attached to these?
It finally dawned on me.
It did.
I was laughing.
And that's when we received the guidance. Well, this is what I'm being told to tell you. Wash it down with pine sol, use some sage on it, and then if it needs more work, your husband will clear it. Okay, great.
Please repeat that. Let people know. Say that's
Oh, so with any used furniture or appliance or anything that you're getting that's been used, that you're purchasing, use some pine sol, wash it, mix the pine sol with water, wipe it down with that. Or if it's clothing, put it in the wash machine, wash it, dry it.
Well, even with the clothing, like our son just went off to this governor's school for entrepreneurs, and he had to buy the regular college size bed sheets.
Right.
And you got those brand new, or even the towels that you got.
Right.
They're brand new.
I still wash them.
You still wash them. Why?
Because someone's energy is on those. Somebody touched those when it was being made or packaged or whatever it might be.
That's why I brought it up, because I don't know how many people think about clearing or washing brand new items.
Yes.
So please talk about that a little bit.
Well, going back to the process, just get some pine sol. If you could throw it in the wash machine, do that. But otherwise, pine sol works best. I don't remember the exact reason why. And then after you're done wiping it down, if you have sage, some sage leaves, or I think it's called a sage bundle, a sage stick, not incense, actual sage. Just use the smoke of it and go all around the item, and it will help clear up whatever residual energy might be there. Even do it with, like when I bought a purse, I used it on the purse, wiped it down, saged it, it was fine. Our brand new vehicle, it's not a brand new vehicle, but anyway, we just went ahead and cleaned it and saged it, and that was all fine too. So anything that you get, washing machine, dryer,
anything,
stove oven, anything.
So again, it goes back to residual energy.
Right.
Okay. When people, here's one that folks might not have thought about. When people talk about how they're ghosts, okay, Normally, these ghosts will appear when people say they see ghosts at accident sites. And people say, oh, an accident took place here. And there's stories how you can hear these voices, or you see this person that walks across the street or whatever it is. All of a sudden you see lights turn on in this bedroom because
all kinds of things.
This person got shot in their bedroom, right? Well, that's residual energy. See, maybe you didn't think about it that way. You say it's lost soul, but it's a residual energy that stayed back because that happened so suddenly. They're still there. It's almost like the energy is trapped, and then it has to get released, and that's where we come in. And so the cleaning process that you talk about, you referred to earlier, that helps release that energy, either by neutralizing it or by transmuting it into positive energy. You know, like just light instead of darkness, that dark energy. So again, just for individuals to know, so if you ever talk about, or you hear people talk about, oh, we feel like a lot of hauntings take place here. That's residual energy. If you walk into a room and it just feels cold, it feels different, you know there's something strange about it. That means there's energy there that just got left behind. And it just needs to be dealt with. And those same procedures will help deal with those energies.
Yes. We've had individuals, one family in particular, whose child received a gift for a birthday, and all of a sudden the toy would just turn on and off on its own. When they would have it on off, it would still turn on its own. And so my husband had to do some work on it, and it turns out that whoever had given the gift had some attachments, possessions, or some things that were attached to that toy, and it was affecting them in the house. So once all that was cleared, everything was fine.
But that was done remotely.
That was all done remotely. Right. So all work is done remotely.
When we do it.
When we do it.
But the things you're talking about, it's local to them because
they can do that.
Right. They don't have to contact us about that. And if there's still strange things happening, then they can contact us afterwards.
That's right.
But it should be fine, normally. You know, what other type of energy? Let's say, for example, you're given some food, and folks might not think about this. You might be given some fruits or given something. You take it home, and then you eat some, and then what happens?
You don't feel good.
And then you're thinking it's the fruit or it's the food.
Right.
But it could be the residual energy that's attached to the food.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
So see, that's something that should be cleared. Just say the now you don't put pine on that, right?
No.
But you could sage around it or say the violet flame, right? I think that the trainees have been taught how to transmute things.
Right.
So you get to that level that you can just take care of it before you eat it. So with anything, you don't just start eating it. Even if you go to a restaurant, you shouldn't just start eating the food at a restaurant.
Right.
You know, or anywhere.
That's how blessings of food came about, to make sure that many years ago, like we're talking pre-biblical days, when they would bless their food because they wanted to make sure that they would survive eating it, basically. So they would ask for the food to be blessed by God, so that way it would benefit them.
Okay, so bless your food.
Bless your food.
All right, so that's it?
Yes, I think so. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to let us know, and we'll see you in the next video. Remember to subscribe and like this video. Join the Facebook group 190 Vision to connect with others on the same journey. Get help by visiting our website 190vision.com. Support the 190 Vision mission by clicking on the donate button, which is at the bottom of each page of our website.